Hi, Michael Stinnett here, and I wanted to talk today about delegation as empowerment and how can we unlock the potential of our people in our educational organization and administration in our local churches and really in any other environment where people have an opportunity to serve at a greater capacity than we often trust them with. So, buckle up and take some notes. Let's get started talking about delegation as empowerment. The reason that I talk about delegation as empowerment is I think that sometimes we think of delegating tasks to people as the tasks that we don't want to do. But that's not very serving. That's very self serving. And that comes from a place of arrogance, like this task is beneath me or this task isn't fun for me. So I'm going to give that to someone else. But the idea of empowering means that we're going to take even maybe the tasks that we enjoy doing, the tasks that we love doing, but we're going to trust other people to do those tasks because we know that other people have gifts to use also. So, what is delegation? Well, that's what I'm going to call delegation is the idea of empowering people to accomplish tasks that need to be accomplished even if it's a task that we might actually be better suited accomplishing because we can teach people, we can train people. After all, leaders are called to equip people for the service of the church. So let's get started and know that delegation is the path to success. And people disagree with me sometimes on this, but I believe that we open up the potential of the church when we open up the potential of our people. And so for me, in leadership, there is no task that is essentially off limits for any person who is gifted for that task. So let's talk further about what delegation is. Again, delegation is not giving an unpleasant task to someone, nor is it getting rid of work to make your workday less than what it was, or to make it easier for you. Delegation is, however, sharing work with individuals who have the capability so that you or I, the leader, may concentrate on more challenging or more difficult assignments. There are times when our giftings are called to be used in a particular capacity that other people might not be able to yet serve. And so we need to be sure to delegate the less urgent sometimes or the less important tasks sometimes to people so that we can focus on the things that need to be done. Also, delegation provides a format whereby individuals can mature and learn through on the job work. Um, I loved I love preaching. I love teaching. I'm a public speaker. It's what I do. But I developed a team of people who would also teach and preach so that I could empower them to use their giftings and grow in that space. I would have rather been on stage every week, but I knew that it wasn't best for the life of the church because there are other people that need to explore their potential and they need to, the church also needs to hear from other people. So that was one way that I empowered others to do something that I loved doing. So it's not just giving a task I don't want to do, it's giving a task that needs to be done and giving it to other people for the sake of the church. Also, you encourage others to become part of the organization by participative task accomplishment. We are giving real tasks to people that really matter. They have real influence, they have real power, they have real leadership and real authority. There are no token tasks when it comes to church organization and administration. We have to remove that. And here's what I mean. Many of us have experienced going on a mission trip somewhere and feeling really, really good about going there. But sometimes we go on mission trips to places so that we feel better about ourselves, not so that we actually accomplish anything for them. I had one person overseas tell me about a time where churches would come to them and they would give them a task. And then when that church would leave, they would essentially undo the task because the church really just wanted to come and feel good about themselves. So they would let them build a wall and they would build a brick retaining wall. And then at the end, they may have to another group may come in and take the wall down, or they would take the wall down themselves when that church would leave. But the church wasn't really trying to solve problems, they were just trying to feel better about themselves. So don't give people tasks that aren't actually solving problems. Let's empower our people to solve our problems. That's why delegation is one of the most important skills that a leader can have. Delegation is the art of empowering others. It's allowing individuals to exercise their special gifts and their abilities. So the Spirit gives gifts to people, and we need to allow people to use those gifts. And this idea, the steps that I just gave, the examples that I just gave, come from Robert Welch's church administration book. And so we know that delegating is empowering. And one of the things that Jesus did was he empowered his followers to make a difference. He empowered his followers to accomplish tasks that mattered. And so let's follow Jesus' example and let's allow our people to do the things that matter. So, how can we do that? How can we get really, really good at delegating? Well, here are a couple of quotes that might inspire us. Seth Godin says that leadership is the art of giving people a platform for spreading ideas that work. I've been guilty before, and maybe others have too, of believing that you are the one responsible for coming up with the ideas. But the reality is that's just not true. If I am responsible for coming up with the ideas, then I'm not always going to get the best ideas. What I am responsible for is creating an environment where people feel free, they feel comfortable, and they feel valued with their ideas. If we create those types of environments, then people, our people, will bring their best ideas. One of the problems in church leadership is often a fear of letting people come in with their ideas. I'm not sure what we're afraid of. Let's open the table. Let's bring more people in and let's delegate the responsibility. Let's empower our teams. Another quote, and this one came from me. The quality of our leadership will never rise above our ability to empower others to do great work. And I used this when I was doing a leadership presentation a few years ago. The reality is that our accomplishments will never rise above the power of our team. Let your team grow, empower them by delegating tasks to them. That's why I love talking about this. So, why is it important? Well, according to the CRU, one of the college ministries for the Presbyterian Church, the Reformed Church, says that delegation develops new abilities and a sense of contribution to the movement. And what we also know is that leadership is the art of delegation. We equip people with the tools they need to exceed. We enable them with the right opportunity to use those tools. We empower them to use the tools they have. And then we encourage them along the way. We engage with them as they grow. And then we evaluate them to improve. We are further along in this process than many of the people that are serving with us. And so we can help them by equipping the saints for the work of the ministry. We can enable them by putting them in position to serve, by giving them the right opportunities to serve, by putting those out there for them to grab. We can empower them to use the tools they have, not limit them by telling them they've got to do it a certain way. Let's let people use their gifts, their callings, their abilities, their talents, their passions, their strengths, and let's let them accomplish these types of ministry outcomes that we are looking for. Let's not limit our people. Let's encourage them along the way because it's going to be challenging. It was challenging for us, it'll be challenging for them. Let's engage with them as they grow. Don't leave them out there. We often empower people, we equip people, and then we send them out, but we don't engage with them anymore. So let's fix that. Delegation is not leaving people alone. Delegation is making sure that people are growing. And let's evaluate them so that they can continue to get better. Now, where can delegation be applied? Beautiful truth. Everywhere. Wherever the giftings of people fit the needs of the church, there is no space in the church that is off limits for delegation. We can empower our people to serve anywhere. Is it curriculum development, volunteer coordination? Is it fundraising? Is it event planning? Are there administrative tasks? Is it a teaching team? Put people on stage and give them the microphone. Let's let Giftings flow. The Spirit has empowered our people and enabled our people, and we must put our people in position to do what the Spirit has gifted them to do. Let's not be the bottleneck. The leader cannot be the limiting factor in the life of the church. Now, when should delegation be implemented? In my opinion, sooner rather than later. Start now. If you are if you are not delegating tasks and empowering people to use their gifts, you are the problem. I am the problem. The reason that our churches often aren't as influential as we would like them to be is because the leader doesn't let the people leverage influence. Let's just stop doing that. Let's stop being the limiting force. Let's stop being the ceiling. Let's open up the gates. And we can do that, I believe, by being better delegators. Look for opportunity to empower our people in a new way to serve. So I hit the wrong button and I need to fix that. All right. So, how can we delegate effectively? Is there something that only you can do? If it's something only you can do as the leader of the organization, then you have to do that thing. You can't give that thing to somebody else. So maybe that means there's a meeting that only you can have, there's a decision that only you can make. You can bring other people in and let them be part of that, but ultimately, sometimes as the leader, you have to make the decision. But step one, identify tasks that are suitable for delegation. What are the tasks that other people can do? Identify those, make a list of them, and I would encourage you not to make that list by yourself. Involve other people in this process, because we often think that I can only do, like, if you're the leader, you're the pastor, then you think only you can preach. Well, that's false. Or you feel like only you can make decisions about money. Well, that's false. Or you feel like you're the only person who can make a decision about some ministry thing or baptism of people or something like that. Those are false beliefs. Identify tasks suitable for delegation. Select gifted individuals to serve. And this is where relationships matter. We have to figure out what giftings people have, and the best way to do that is in relationship. There is no survey or test that you can give that accurately describes or depicts spiritual gifts, but I can get to know you in community, in a relationship, and watch you, observe you, evaluate you, and determine, hey, you seem to have this gift. Would you like to do this thing? That's a beautiful way to do it. Then you can communicate clear expectations and objectives to people whenever you empower them with a task. You delegate a task to them. Like, don't just leave ambiguity out there. Don't be vague out there. People need clarity so they can know what it is that they're expected to do. So identify the task, select the people, communicate clear objectives, provide necessary resources and support. This is what I mean by encourage them and engage with them along the way. I'm not going to empower you to do something and delegate that something to you and then leave you alone to do it. I'm going to help you. I'm not going to micromanage you. I'm not going to watch every move that you make, but I'm going to be available to you, to support you, to help you grow, because that's what leaders do. I'm going to monitor progress and I'm going to provide feedback. This is evaluating you so you can improve. And if I create the right leadership structure, the right type of environment, the right type of culture, this is going to be a beneficial process, and you're actually going to grow from it and wind up loving it. I've seen it happen. Then I'm going to recognize and appreciate contributions. I want other people to be recognized. I want to applaud them. I want to praise them. I want to lift them up. I want to be a window that just sees other people grow. I want to be a spotlight that shines on others. Uh, Blackaby says in Spiritual Leadership that leaders provide encouragement and support. And then he gives these ideas that leaders provide encouragement and support throughout the delegation process, encouraging them, engaging with them. I've said that. They delegate tasks does not mean neglecting the people involved. No, it doesn't. You can't just give it to them and leave them. That's bad leadership. It is essential for leaders to understand that they are ultimately responsible for the outcomes of the delegated tasks. You can't blame people. You give them a task, maybe they weren't ready for it yet. You give them a task and you didn't go along with them. There are reasons that people fail, and not always are they the reason they failed. Sometimes it's poor leadership. Warren Buffett says, praise people by name and criticize categories. I think that's worth noting. And he says, in Blackaby's book, he said, leaders should praise individuals by name when they succeed and take responsibility for any failures that occur. I'm not looking to blame people. If I empower them to do a task, I delegate that task to them. I'm responsible if it doesn't get done. So apply delegation to your role. One, make a decision to delegate. Identify the tasks to delegate. Select the people and equip them, enable them, empower them, encourage them, engage with them, and evaluate them. And then just celebrate that you're growing. And in conclusion, the leader cannot limit the potential of the people, but he often will if he limits the people's opportunity. Do not become the bottleneck. Do not let your leadership be the ceiling, be the limit. The Spirit has empowered people, has gifted people, and let's be leaders who do the same thing. Let's release our people to serve in ways that really matter. Thank you for watching this presentation, and I would love some feedback and some thoughts. Let's have a discussion around what it looks like to delegate and empower well so that the church can grow. So thankful for each of you. Have a great day.